Welcome, comrades. All right. So we're here, and I thought with current events it was extremely appropriate. So we've got a full panel tonight. Welcome back. This is Red Pill Rhino for as long as the lights stay on and the roof stays over my head. Some of you know the last few months have been yeah, that's about it. That feeling that just came out of me there, just that's pretty much how it's been going. And I'm sure for a lot of you too, it's been a big fucking ball of and trust me, I get it, and it sucks. So we're gonna keep the show going as long as we can. Thank you all for tuning in, and hopefully things get a lot less soon, right? But yeah, we're going to go back to doing shows, and it's going to be okay. And we've got communist cats, too. So maybe later in the show, we'll check them out, see what they're up to. But yeah, we're here. We're going to talk about some stuff from the past that was some predictors of current day or predictors of future events yet to come. Some of which, spoiler alert, for those of you just tuning in, we'll get straight to the end and the beginning. We've got some Simpsons predictions that came true. We've got novels like 1984 and a few other things along the way. Not too many articles tonight, just kind of a fun episode. But past prophecy is creating current demise, as the thumbnail tonight suggests. But we've got a full panel. Excuse me, it's been a while since I've been streaming, and I've still got that slight lag, so I've got to tune my brain out to my own voice so I can actually talk. That includes reading articles. So if I stutter, you know why. It's been like a month since I've actually done, has it been a month? 3 months, actually, since I've done a regular show. So bear with me. Anyway, here we go. You'd think I just pay for better equipment, but yeah, right now, I'm not going to get into it. Anyway. What do we got in the chats here? We'll be reading super chats after we get caught up here. So from this point forward, super chats are on MGTOW.tv, Rumble, and YouTube. You can also donate to Cash App, Red Pill Rhino Cash App. It is this thing up in this corner. You can see it right there. Right? That's where you can put your phone on the screen and send you right to the thing. If you want to send an email along with that Cash App donation, just put the your name, your username, and whatever you want to talk about. If it's an article, if it's just a comment, feel free to do that. redpillrhino@hotmail.com. And then I think that's it. We have PayPal, but you know we haven't had a PayPal donation in a year, and that's because of the whole debacle with Pop. I think most people said screw PayPal. That is an option as well. If you don't like Cash App for whatever reason, which you really should. Even if you're not using it for the show, you should really check in a Cash App. Because if somebody, like, let's say you offer goods or services and you get paid, they don't take a fee. You just have to wait like 3 days for it to transfer, but there's no fee. So it's beautiful. Good system. Don't know how they run a business like that, but I'm not complaining. Cash App, you should get it. It's good. All right, we've got a full panel. Let's get caught up on some of these chats here really quick. Big Angry Phil sounds better than Taylor Swift. Facts. Vincent of MGTOW, what the fuck is this? This is Red Pill Rhino. So if there isn't that question, I failed you. St. Louis Arch. I like the one Glenn Beck did for Obama. I haven't seen that. If you want to send that to me, redpillrhino@hotmail.com. I do want to see that. For every donation that Rhino gets, I will take a sip of Apple Crown, get this man some donations, and make me go full Walt Disney. We'd have to have that on the show. I would love to see that. I do support that. I shouldn't support that. I don't support alcoholism, but that would be funny. All right, moving on. Vincent of MGTOW, Taylor Swift. Have you guys seen as in movie scene, but seen that meme of her yelling at Trace? No, I have not. MM43, see in the chat there. Let's see. I like the humor. Good. Excellent. That's what we're trying to do here. Father Saunders, how you doing? You taking any shits lately? If you weren't there for that night, you missed out. Go back, check out Father Saunders' show as well. He's on like every night now. And I gave his son the wise idea while his father was on the shitter, which you could see on a live stream, to steal the toilet paper from him. Because what's he going to do? He's on the shitter. Yes. Oh, that was fun. Watching his toilet paper getting stolen live on air was a good time. Oh, my good Lord, my fellow Ginger is back. Yes, I am back, and I am not sorry for that either, by the way. Vincent MGTOW, perseverance, Rhino, you're moving forward. That's what men do. Well, I'm moving forward while kicking and screaming and yelling, but I'm moving forward. Yes, indeed. All right, Jimmy Bones, you and I have to have a title match for Waffle Champion. Yeah, for sure. Let's see. Was that a Pomeranian? I believe so. That or a Chihuahua, but I think it was a Pomeranian. Yeah. Charles Darwin, Jimmy Bones, man, you're doing good. One day like me, facial pubes will just pop out all over. Then the fuckers will turn gray an hour later. Relax, dude. Yeah, no kidding. All right, let's see what else we got here. Gingers unite. However, I'm a daywalker. There you go. That's Father Saunders. Scotty side, what is this degeneracy? Well, it is Red Pill Rhino. Thank you for joining, and hopefully you stick through to the end. All right, do we have anybody else here? Let's see what else we got. The goddamn bacon is in the house. Someone say degeneracy? Yes. And how is this even possible? April Saunders in the house. I'm confused. Someone may say you've never done a regular show. That is true. I really don't think I have. All right. Let's see. Father Saunders, Paul Sean. Yep, there you go. Hi, April. Begone thought, he says. MM4356. And this could go on forever. So I'm going to probably stop here now before I just keep reading the chat all night. Let's get the panel on, shall we? Starting with the last to join us, Slacker. Sean St. George, how are you doing tonight?
Slacker, you know how fast I got to move between clocking out and setting up my setup to come join you?
Listen. Let's see. What's new, man? It's been a while since.
Yet.
What's that?
Oh, I was about to say no commie cat here yet, but she'll show up eventually.
Well, once she does, we've got quite the song in store.
Yes.
All right. What's new though? We haven't done a live show since 1972, so I figure we better get back at it.
Not a whole lot. Just trying to stay out of Murphy's sights. Avoid my own self-destructive habits because we always got to keep those in check. And yeah, I guess, try to take over the world.
No, try. Yes,
try.
Indeed. Speaking of people trying to take over the fucking world, welcome Jackal the Emperor to the show.
Yeah.
How you doing, man?
I don't know. My whole body feels like I've got a fever. It's feeling great. Headache, body is aching. I was fine this morning, but obviously Murphy's like, oh, you thought you were gonna feel nice this evening for the show. Nope, bitch. And decided to smack me with whatever the hell is going on here, but my forehead definitely feels like you could fry an egg on it.
Yeah, that's not good, man. All right. Well, hold it together long enough. We'll get through the show pretty quickly, hopefully. On that note,
keep moving forward.
Exactly. That's the goal. Let's get MGTOW Mando in the show. How are you doing this evening, sir?
Well, one, thanks for taking your time slot back.
Yeah, you bet.
Because remember, I was trying to do those weekly train wreck things for a little while until I realized no one else was available at my time zone.
Yeah,
Yep.
man, you did a good job covering though. So,
One of us thinks so.
wow, don't be so hard on yourself.
Yeah, don't be so hard on yourself, man.
Oh, there's a reason I called it the train wreck.
All right. Well, on that note, let's get speaking of, well, not train wrecks, but there wasn't a squirrel tangent there. I just got to throw a squirrel on the screen. How do we get? There he is, Outlaw. What's going on, man?
You really played it, didn't you?
I
You really played the communist song with a dog singing.
I did.
Wow.
It was absolutely necessary to start this show. So
Yeah.
I can feel
Sure,
the communism.
all right, we've got Crusader Nate as well. Let's get him on here. Crusader. how's it
Speaking of
going,
train
man?
wrecks,
Exactly. Let's bring it right back around.
right? Well, like I always say, living the dream because nightmares are dreams too.
Yes,
Mhm.
indeed. And like I said, guys, this is kind of I don't know if I said on the show live, but I'm saying it now. This is the old style show. We've got a full panel. So we're just going to go through this. I want your guys' opinions on what we talk about. Keep it short, brief, simple, to the point, hopefully. Hopefully.
Got it.
And then we'll move on. We've got one more panel member. Ike, welcome to the fucking show, sir. Long time no see.
Yeah, it's been a while.
Probably
Indeed.
not retarded.
I feel like
Yeah.
you have a new helmet back there. Is that new?
Oh, I do. It's not new. My brother moved out of his apartment, so I got my Stormtrooper helmet back. I actually
Nice.
have an entire set of Stormtrooper armor. I just haven't put it together yet, and I'm also too fat to wear it.
Well, I can't help you with the second part, but I can help you with the first part if we ever get there. All right.
Oh yeah, totally.
Cool.
Hey,
On
Ike,
that
if
note,
we're ever,
what?
hey, Ike, if we're ever in the same time, if we're ever in the same time zone, I'll try to remember to bring my armor, and we can try to do a side-by-side photo shoot.
Oh yeah, let's do that.
Listen,
I would
I've
love
got
that.
armor
Yeah.
too. You guys just going to leave me out of it? You guys are assholes.
Oh yeah, no, we'll make
Well,
sure
we-
it happens. We'll make
Anyway,
it.
Don't
matter of
want you-
fact, man,
don't
though.
want you
Matter of
outshine
fact,
either
look,
of us.
don't fucking include me in any of your plans, you cunt.
Oh,
Demonetized.
maybe
good
we're
one
just
last
going
time.
to take you into custody.
Anyway, let's get on with the fucking show. We have got a few articles here talking about the past and how it relates to the future. Let's go ahead and present the first one here. If I can get it to pop up. There it is. Boom. Done. Here we are. This is from time.com. 7 of the craziest predictions for the future from the past. And there's a lot of words here, so bear with me. Back in 1992, a special issue of Time devoted to predicting what to expect in the new millennium, writer Lance Morrow waxed philosophical about why we, wow, that's actually a big word for me, prognosticate
Prognosticate?
in the first place, quoting political scientist Michael Barkham. He wrote, "The human mind abhors a vacuum. Where certainties are absent, we make do with probabilities, and where probabilities are beyond our power to calculate, we seek refuge from insupportable ignorance in a future of our own imagining." That's a lot of big words to say. We just get bored and like to make stuff up. So there you go. All right, here we go. Let's just get right into this, right? The future will be a cyclops. The future human will be a cyclops. Yes, in the distant centuries or millenniums, man will be a cyclops, being with only one eye. So said Dr. Thomas Hall Shasted in 1933. Well, I think he was wrong because I don't see any proof of that yet. But face the
You
future.
should say centuries or millennia.
Yeah. But so far, nothing has happened. This future eye, explained Shasted, would be the center of the face below a high forehead where the bridge of the nose rested. The doctor reasoned that the human eye originally evolved to see far into the distance, but as the modern human reads, writes, repairs, cuts gems, examines pictures, and so forth, the cyclopean peeper would evolve to accommodate these close-range tasks and pastimes. Now, I don't believe that at all. This one, however,
No.
I do believe. let's get into this one. Then I'm going to have the panel react to this one because I've seen this. I've seen it. Have you, matter of fact, have you noticed, have you talked to a Gen Z lately? And if so, I'm sorry, but have you talked to a Gen Z lately? Ask them to read an analog clock or write in cursive. It's a good time. It's really a lot of fun. And by fun, I mean it's nightmare fuel because they can't do either. Let's go back to the article though.
Not wrong.
Yeah, it's pretty bad. What is going on there? There, it's
What
fixed.
the hell was that?
It just was the wrong format. I don't know. Grandchildren of the television age won't be able to read. Covering the construction of a new TV station in 1951, Time addressed the potential downside of a newly television-obsessed culture. Our people are becoming less literate by the minute. That is absolutely true, the writer lamented, suggesting that in the zero-sum game of recreational hours, TV would eat up more and more of the time people once spent reading books and thinking thoughts. By the 21st century, our people doubtless will be squint-eyed hunchbacks and fond of the dark. I mean, they're not wrong.
Hang on.
They're not
Rhino.
wrong. They're not wrong.
Let me point something
Yes.
out on that real quick. That can actually go in two different directions. You can have going the direction of everyone staring at the screen all the time and watching TikTok type videos. Or you could have the exact opposite where people realize everything they're putting out is absolute garbage and decide, you know what? I'm going to go see what those old farts thought was entertainment and pick up something like, I don't know, 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea.
Yeah.
Good book.
By the way,
I
our
just
first
throw that at
donation of the
random.
night, I just want to throw that up on screen. First donation of the night from MM4356 for $2. Fuck you. I can do both. So there you go.
Nice.
All right, panel. Any other thoughts from you on the future being illiterate? And by the future, I mean right now.
My question would be, my question would be, can you really consider that a prediction when they're actually doing this to an intentional degree? I mean, if you're intentionally educating people stupid in this modern culture, and we know they are, look what they teach in schools. Can you really consider this a prediction? Would be my question.
Fair enough.
So I wanted to bring something up just real quick. You mentioned that Gen Z doesn't know how to read an analog clock. I'm going to be very careful about how I say this because I know how you guys are. I worked at a blacksmithing school with teenagers with an after-school program, and those kids definitely know how to read an analog clock because we told them they can't have their phones in the forge anymore. And they know how to read that clock because they know when 5 o'clock comes around, they want to leave.
Yeah, fair enough. They've learned what
That
5
sounds so
o'clock looks
fun.
like.
No, it's a lot of fun. Some of them we have to force them to leave, but there's one kid that he knows exactly when it's 5 o'clock and he wants to leave, mainly because he has to do raiding or whatever bullshit he does and whatever stupid game he plays.
Right. Panel, your thoughts. We got Sean, Crusader, Jackal.
I would say just look at social media and how people type or do their sentence structure, let alone try to be YouTube friendly-ish. It makes them sound intellectually challenged, well beyond what their age or what they should be able to say or write.
Right. Yeah. Crusader, what are your thoughts, man?
Well, we're already in those times. I mean, if you look at it over the past 10 to 15 years, people have gotten so used to using text messages and so used to actually communicating through a handheld electronic device that people struggle now having a face-to-face conversation with somebody else. That's been a phenomenon that they've been trying to actually figure out the foundation of and how to actually reverse that. So that's just an extension of people, watching screens and things like that. I remember when I was a kid, people used to call the TV the idiot box. And
Yeah.
you know what?
I remember
They weren't
that.
wrong. I mean, if you
No.
look at the movie Idiocracy, it's almost 20 years old. That movie has become a documentary, not a comedy.
I was going to say you could literally do a show on how that has become a documentary. Jackal, you are the Gen Z in the room. What are your thoughts? Look at your generation, and what are your thoughts of what you're seeing around you?
It's actually frustrating, but at the exact same time, it's hilarious being the only one with brains in the room when it's usually just my generation. It's funny. But
Yeah.
it's terrifying at the exact same time for this reason. I have to share this ball of dirt we call a planet with them.
Mm.
And guess who has to unfuck the things they fuck up out of their own arrogance or ignorance or both? Me.
Mm.
The one who is responsible, the one who is disciplined, the one that actually knows to go outside, touch some grass sometimes instead of staring at just pictures of ass and titties all day.
Right. Yeah, and my latest experience with Gen Z, and I know it's just a drop in the bucket, it's not the whole thing, but they can tell you exactly who's on the draft pick for the football team this year, or who's going to the whatever the fuck golf tournament's called exactly. I don't know or care, or who's going to the world tournament for the soccer cup or whatever. They can tell you every fucking player on every team ever. But if you ask them when the country was founded, I don't know, bro. If you ask them how to write in cursive, I don't know, bro. How about when World War II ended? Oh, man. How about anything in the last 30 years? Anything. Pop culture, music, anything. I don't know, man. I don't know. Like, are you fucking retarded? And these people are in management positions now. And will be in politics soon. So that's, some of them already are.
Yeah, it's bad enough they can already vote.
It was
Yeah,
no,
Now I know that the boomers shit on the millennials, but genuinely, Gen Z is so dumbed down and just not just ignorant but arrogant. They don't want to learn. They don't care to learn. Now, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe there's some that do, but it certainly doesn't seem like the majority.
Very few.
Yeah.
Ask
I
a
can
Gen
say this
Zer.
with certainty. They are very few in number, the ones that actually genuinely want to make a good person out of themselves and a productive member of society.
Right.
Very few.
Yeah. Well, all right. Just look at a Gen Zer. So, ask them if they think they're smart. Yeah, okay. What happened September 11th? When is it?
Mm-hmm.
I've actually asked a Gen Zer, I'm like, when is September 11th? And they're like, oh no, really? You don't know when it is?
Yeah. I've seen those
Gave you
interviews
the
where they
answer.
ask stupid questions like that. Like, like what day is, that's not fair because Cinco de Mayo is technically a foreign language, but like stupid, obvious questions like you're just saying, September 11th. What day is it? I don't know, like August 1st?
What the fuck?
Yeah.
Okay.
Why?
Hey,
Why?
Rhino,
Why do I
here's a
share air with you?
Here's a favorite one I like
That's
to
what I'm
do.
asking.
It's not just to Gen Z, it's also to blondes. And bear in mind, I am a blonde.
All right.
I love to go up to them at the beginning of every year and go, hey, not to alarm you, but Walmart's going to be closed February 28th, 29th, or 29th, 30th, and 31st this year.
That's
Fantastic.
That's awful, man.
Oh yeah, they do all know. Bacon, you're right. They do all know when 420 is. So that's yeah. All right. I get your point. Some of you Gen Zers understand world history and they're not. There's hope, but it's like most of your generation. Let's not lie. They're fucked. They really are. It's sad.
It's fun beating them up, though. Allegedly.
Anyway,
it's going to be a long uphill battle for them.
I just
Rhino,
want
Go
to
ahead, Mando.
Didn't Gen Z give us the Tide Pod challenge?
yes, they did.
Yeah.
Yes, they did. Yes, they did. Yes, they did.
Well, here you go. Here's another thing that usually gets most Gen Zers, and I've gotten a few with this one. Ask them, how long is a Chinese man? Anybody get it?
No, I actually
I
don't.
don't get it either.
There are a couple of different ways you can answer that, but it's weird either way.
Please do
No.
elaborate on that one.
You're right,
Okay.
April Saunders.
God damn it.
Okay. Look at it this way. How long is a Chinese man?
Yeah, that's a name.
Yeah.
God
Okay.
damn it!
It's a name.
Oh,
How is probably
Wow.
spelled H-A-O.
you made
and
me
then
feel
long,
stupid. All right, let's move on to the next topic now.
That's how you know. But Nate, if they can't answer that question, at least you know something wrong.
I hate it here.
I wish
Right.
I wish my soundboard was working. I'd play the fucking bump bump and from.
That's
fucking-
right,
So
April
that's a
Saunders.
good
It is
one.
intentional.
All right, get out of here. Get out of here, Saunders.
Jimmy,
All right.
Jimmy, that's how Lang. That's how Lang, not how long.
Anyway, maybe we're not proving that the millennials are much better tonight. Let's move right along.
Hey,
Jimmy, get out of here
whoa.
before you make your-
Our generation is smarter than the current.
Anyway, every
Slightly.
medical malady will be treatable with a miracle pill. If the Swiss doctors of France 1956 prophecy ever comes true, hospitals are going to find themselves in a tough spot. One of the most distinguished surgeons in Europe at the time, Odie, imagined that all victories which have been the pride of brilliant surgeons will be forgotten, replaced by the discovery of a substance which, in the form of a capsule, will capture the sources of energy that will bring recovery within hours. Snake oil, essentially. Such a magic antidote would obviate the need for surgery in most cases, leaving its wake not only in the dumpsters full of scalpels, but also the physical pain inflicted by tearing a body open and sewing it back up. Sewing, excuse me. Yeah, no, we don't have that miracle pill yet, but we are certainly cramming pills down the throats of everybody. If you have depression, which they've also discovered chemical imbalances may not really be a thing, but if you have depression, take this pill. It may lead to anal bleeding, but it'll cure your sadness.
Anal bleeding.
Oh, hang on,
Well,
Rhino. When did this article get written?
This particular article was written, son of a bitch, where's the date on there? January 1st, 2015. So it is a little dated.
No,
Well,
okay.
I wanna-
When were the predictions in here made?
Yeah.
1956 on this one, 1951 on that one,
Okay.
1933 on this one, and so on.
I'm actually going to go somewhere with this. Please bear with me for just half a second.
Okay.
You look back at
Time's up.
everything from the 1950s. Sci-fi, pop culture, anything that looked even remotely into the future.
Mm-hmm.
They predicted that we would be free of war,
Oh, yeah.
free
You
of
have to work
disease,
like 4 hours a week.
free of disease, free of poverty, basically living in a utopian type society.
Mm.
Everyone would be doing the right thing for whatever needed to be done, yada, yada, yada.
There would be machines to help keep women out of the kitchen.
Well, that part
Don't
came
burn
true.
the house down.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
But-
Rhino, I want to push back on you a little bit, if Mando, if
Yeah.
you're done.
I just have
Um,
I have one
go ahead.
closing thing on this.
Go
Dang
right
it.
ahead.
All right. Go.
As the years have gone on, the optimism has dropped in
Yeah.
all of the science fiction out there. I'm going
Yeah.
to pick on Star Trek here for just a second. You look at the original Star Trek. Yeah, there were
yeah.
conflicts in there, but was generally optimistic about the future. You go to the next generation, it starts to get a little more dystopian. Deep Space Nine, a little more dystopian.
Okay.
Voyager, highly dystopian because they were run by a Charlie Uncle Nantar.
Hmm.
Enterprise, very dystopic. I'm not even going to talk about Discovery or Picard. But the closer you get to the modern era, the worse it gets.
Yeah.
I'm done.
All right. It does. It does. Science fiction has definitely lost its charm. It's definitely gotten darker, not just in Star Trek,
Let
but
me
in
make my
general.
stuff, and I'll cheer you back up.
All right. Crusader, what was your thought there?
Okay. That point of there being a quote unquote magic pill from 1956. We actually have the technology. We actually have the base of knowledge needed to actually do that. Dr. Carrie Millis, I believe in 2012, discovered the ability of creating a DNA aptamer where they can actually take alpha-gal epitope as well as a couple of other epitopes and attach them to a DNA and install a DNA aptamer on those epitopes and inject them and or give them in pill form into somebody that would actually bond to a bacteria or an infection or some kind of abnormality, a cancer cell or something like that, where they could actually trigger the B cells and T cells into turning around and actually targeting the cancerous cells and or the bacterial infection in the body. So technically, that technology exists as of today.
Okay. Fair enough.
They've
I
already
did not
narrowed
know
down
that.
aging. It's the cause of the telomeres on all of your DNA
At
strands
telomeres.
breaking off every
If
time
you're not aware
you
what he's referring
self-replicate.
to, telomeres are the caps on the end of your DNA. Think of it like glue. Over time,
code.
and they suggest that stress also plays a factor in prematurely wearing it, so keep that in mind. Lord knows mine are probably like ready to snap. But anyway, the glue at the end of your DNA
60.
is your telomeres. And once those fall apart, essentially your DNA unravels and leads to death eventually. So there you go. Fun fact of the day. Let's get back into these articles, though. We do not have all night, so we got to keep this kind of short and sweet. The frogmen one, I mean, yes and no. All right, frogmen will live in undersea bunkers to help tend kelp farms. One way to address God damn it, can't talk. One way to address food shortages of the future, according to the Rand Corp in 1966. That is the year of the prediction. Eat more kelp. No, it's bugs. It's bugs instead of kelp. But yes, we're getting there. The think tank imagined that huge kelp fields, bug fields, and kinds of seaweed will be tendered by undersea farmers, frogmen who will live for months at a time submerged in bunkhouses. The kelp, rich in protein, would then be ground into powder, which could be regenerated chemically to taste like anything from steak to bourbon. Just replace kelp with bugs, and we're getting somewhere here. Those seaweed extracts are commonly used in additives today. They've yet to supplant the rest of our food supply, and so far, cultivators still live on dry ground. Yes. Now this one's interesting. We don't even need to talk about this. It's kind of obvious. They're the underwater dudes. Yeah, probably not, but they are trying to tell people to eat bugs, own nothing, and be happy. So part of this is starting to sound real. Anyway,
Well, I think then that one they were reading too much H.P. Lovecraft.
Yeah, it could be.
Just really quick, Jimmy stole my joke. I was going to say they're turning the frogmen gay.
Yeah, I see that there.
Well, they do have that in concept, but it is for undersea welding, undersea repair, where people have to go down, gradually get used to the pressure down there, because even though they're going in suits, they still have to deal with the pressures, and you have to gradually get them back to regular atmospheric pressure. So they will spend a significant amount of time under pressure and actually underwater.
The Queen song talked about under pressure.
I was just
but yes, I do remember watching a documentary about this. It's so they don't get the bends. So they go down underwater in their little underwater station thing, and then they spend like this week in an in-between zone where they slowly decompress and then they come out. It's a pretty interesting process. I can't remember what
I think
specifically this was
it's
about.
the same way going down, but they spent about 3 to 6 weeks per rotation.
Hey, Crusader, refresh my memory. Isn't there don't they have to change the atmospheric composition if you're going down below a certain depth because oxygen becomes more hazardous at certain concentrations?
Yeah, it does.
Add more.
Actually, the body becomes a little more efficient running on nitrogen at some of the greater depths where some of your very deep sea divers go into. So when they drop the bell, they'll actually pump in a little bit more nitrogen and oxygen, and they need to balance the nitrogen and oxygen. April is actually very brilliant, past 120 feet. So I'm just going to call that out.
And don't they also have to do the same for individuals going into altitudes above a certain amount?
Yeah.
If you're not aware what we're all laughing at, it's what's on the screen there.
Yeah.
But there's a very I don't know how you would describe it, but there's a story where one of these underwater guys got their line
Oh yeah, that's
tangled and it
Yeah.
got cut, and he was kind of dead for about half an hour on the floor while they're trying to mount a rescue for him.
That's-
And they pulled him back up. Nobody knows how he survived because they got him out of his suit and he was all white and blue.
That's the one I was watching. Yeah.
Until he literally rose from the dead. They think because of his exposure to more oxygen in his cells allowed him to stay like in a hibernation type of state without having like severe brain damage or any kind of internal organ failure. And the guy is still doing that job to this day.
Yeah, he went right back to it.
Mhm.
John, I do remember, and I think Crusader can back me up on this. When I went through medic training, when treating hypothermia, we were always told that you're not considered dead until you're warm and dead.
Yep.
So it's
I can see that.
possible that at depth,
Suspended
the
animation.
temperature- Say again.
It's cryogenically assisted suspended animation actually slows down the oxygen consumption of the brain, and it also slows down the electrical pulses inside of the brain to actually operate and function the body. And the body will actually start shutting down nerve endings on the skin surface and actually focus more of the blood towards the more critical organs to allow movement of blood, and it'll actually start funneling blood back through the brain just to keep critical operations running.
Basically, it
Alright.
put your body on pause.
Pretty much.
There you go. All right.
Interesting.
Moving on to the next one here, which this one actually, it's just here's the thing: if you spin it certain way, yes. If you take it literally, not so much. So this one, spouses will be able to secretly control one another's moods with grouch pills. All right. In the same 1966 article that predicted a kelp-driven food economy, had something to say about marital relations as well. If one spouse is in a particularly cantankerous mood, his or her partner, predicted Rand, will be able to pop down to the corner of the drugstore, buy some anti-grouch pills, and slip them into coffee, which is a crime. Anyway, of course, the last half century certainly has seen remarkable advances in psychiatric medication, from Adderall to Prozac. But as far as instantaneous mind control goes, we're still relegated to old-fashioned remedies like avoidance and a glass of wine. Now, I will say, when we've talked about things in the past in the show with the amount of individuals under the age of 30 that may be female in nature that are on antidepressants, I would say that this thing is true. Also, the advent of birth control has altered drastically the mood of women as well. Now, that goes for men as well. We can't just say the women are on antidepressants. There's a lot of men, especially under 30 as well, that are on these antidepressants. And it does alter your mood. It completely changes your personality, as a matter of fact, depending on the dose. And of course, the dose does go up and up and up every prescription they give you over the course of 6 months or a year. So there is that. There is mind-altering substances that keep you kind of dull and not yourself. But I wouldn't say it is an anti-grouch pill. Actually, a lot of those pills are suggested to increase the risk of suicide. So there you go. All right, let's get on to the next one here. This one's just silly. And as growing plants right now, I see no rationale for it, but let's just talk about it. Tomatoes will be square. The mechanization of agriculture during the middle decades of the 20th century drastically changed the face of farming. Some observed former Agriculture Secretary Orville Freeman believed The automation would chill the ageless intimacy between man and his land. Well, we've done that for sure. Others saw nothing but progress in the increased production. Modern machinery offered. Still others saw square tomatoes, another phenomenon in the not too distant future, envisioned the research and development chief at Deere & Co. Is square tomatoes, which after all could be more easily packaged by machine and fit better in sandwiches. Now, he makes actually a point, but in the form of GMOs and maybe down the line of, putting pesticides in the actual genetic material of these vegetables, hormones and all sorts of other crap. Little poke and smokes. They're putting that apparently in vegetables now. So they may not be changing the shape, certainly the size and water content of the vegetables. That's where they're ripping you off, by the way. Those giant tomatoes are more water than they are tomato, and they weigh the tomato down, so you pay more for water. Fun fact, but they're not square yet. Panel, your thoughts?
It's really easy to have a square tomato.
Way that you...
One at a time, gentlemen. Crusader, starting with you.
Okay. Well, there is actually a way to actually grow a square tomato. It's been done by a couple of doctors and a couple of researchers. They'll get a Lexan box that's actually clear, and they will pick a size. And when the tomato plant will actually flower and start to grow a bud of a tomato, they put this Lexan box over it, and as it grows, it will only grow to fill the space of the box, and it will represent no matter what shape the box is. About 15 years ago, Disney did the exact same thing with oranges, and they did a Mickey Mouse style head, and oranges actually grew to the little round shape with the little mouse ears on it. This is a study that they did, and they've continued it on with watermelons, cantaloupes, tomatoes, oranges. It's just a Lexan box. You just pick the size you want, and you put it over that, and you put a little strap on it, keeps the box closed, and it will actually grow a square tomato. It's not that complex.
Jumping in really quick, I have seen, and it's actually kind of cool, and it's not modifying them for any like nefarious purposes, but you can get molds. And if you want to grow your own pumpkins, you can get like Frankenstein's face or a mummy or whatever, and you put the pumpkin in this plastic mold, similar to what you're saying. You kind of like, zip tie it together, and then you let the pumpkin grow inside of it, and it creates the face of Frankenstein on the front. It's pretty cool. So there you go. Yeah. Mando, were you going to jump in?
What I was about to point out.
Yeah. Go. Oh, is that it? Did I just steal?
Crusader and I were on the exact same wavelength there.
All right, fair enough. Anybody else?
That's frightening.
I want to chime in really quick. So one of the interesting things that I find compelling with GMOs, like genetically modified fruit and everything, is you can genetically modify the fruit to grow in climates that it normally wouldn't be able to be grown in. And so countries that are like starving and can't grow certain things can potentially be able to grow that stuff now because we've genetically modified it. So we're feeding people with genetically modified produce.
Now, see, for that purpose, I see nothing again nefarious about that. There are some things that they do that are pretty downright sketchy, but when you can do stuff like that, yeah, that's cool. I mean, listen, I was on Pop Show last night talking about my peppers, right? They are genetically modified. They're an experimental pepper. They didn't exist in nature. Somebody took the hottest peppers in the world, made them make babies. That's the seedlings that I'm currently working on growing. So.
That's called germination, right?
Yeah. Where you cross-pollinate, where as we talked about in Gilded, for those of you that are not in Gilded, join Gilded and look for Red Pill Rhino, or send me a request to join at redpillrhino@hotmail.com. The other night, we were discussing how pollen is actually just plant splooge. And every time you sneeze, you're just taking a face full of plant splooge and inhaling it.
I still hate you for that right now.
That's hilarious.
Well, building on the quote unquote genetically modified produce.
Yeah.
What we see today as yellow bananas, those are genetically modified. What we see as modern sweet potatoes, those are genetically modified. Sweet potatoes, where I believe it was 1830s, 1840s when they were actually genetically modified and cross-pollinated. That goes back to the foundation of Mendelian genetics.
Yeah, because all of genetics really originated from crossbreeding plants to either create brand new species or to modify one for a advantageous trait.
Yep.
Lemons are too, correct? Aren't they technically a hybrid between, was it limes and oranges? And or am I got that wrong?
I can't remember. There's a couple of strains of lemons, a couple strains of oranges. Your little like halos and some of your smaller oranges have been genetically modified to be easier to peel.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Well, and technically peanuts are a form of genetic modification of a plant because those don't actually exist naturally.
They're legumes too, by the way. They were closely related to beans.
Legumes.
So there you
Goobers.
go.
They call
Lots
them
of
goobers
lots of fun facts here tonight for sure.
I think
All right,
Snoopy
we've
and
got
Charlie
one more.
Brown have something to say about that.
What about Charlie Brown? What's going on here? What's going on?
The
here?
peanuts. I think Snoopy and Charlie Brown have something to say about that.
I got you. All right. We've got one more article and then we can move on. We've got to kind of churn through the rest of these. So we'll be able to feel and smell whatever's on our television sets. Depends on how long you left the leftovers on there, but whatever.
VR.
Yeah, VR hasn't gotten a smell yet.
There is a thing you can get that's like a VR smeller that you can wear that does exist.
And honestly, if you play video games and you have a vibration feedback system, that's a haptic interface.
All right. Okay.
Yeah, and there are systems like that, but don't forget Neuralink. You could do VR headset that can connect to your Neuralink to make you think you're in a game and you can smell the environment that you're in. You can get a physical touch sensation of the environment you're in.
Disneyland kind of already does smell-o-vision. They pump smells into the park based on where you're at to get you enticed to go in and buy like a falafel or whatever the fuck they have going on.
Sure. But that's for
people part with their money.
Yeah, it's trying to get you to buy shit. Exactly.
Yep.
All right.
Hang on before you jump away.
Yeah.
Sean, you actually just reminded me of something. The TV series Caprica. It actually had something very similar to what you were describing. You would put a headset on, and you'd be engulfed in basically a Sword Art Online style virtual world.
Yeah, because then one of the main characters, he used that to
attempt to bring his daughter back.
Attempt to bring his daughter back or to get closure. But I think it was more of he tried to recreate her in a Cylon.
Well, he wasn't trying to. It's complicated. We can talk about that elsewhere.
Yeah, let's move along with the article.
Well, we're actually on another one now. I can tell this one had a certain type of activist write it, but we'll go ahead and entertain it briefly. You already know. All right, let's see. Let's bring this on screen here. This is 1984 and 19 other dystopian novels. We're not going to read every paragraph, but we'll go into it briefly, that predicted the future. So we obviously are going to start with 1984 itself, okay? Author George Orwell. The oppressive regime George Orwell imagined in 1984 is full of predictions, but among the most famous is the depiction of how governments and other powerful people can work to redefine and eliminate objective truth. We are there. This is not a question of if, we are there. Right think is already there. We are already rewriting history. As a matter of fact, Colorado has just released their official police releases on all their social media. Please, I know we've been doing it forever, but please stop calling accidents accidents. We want you to refer to them as crashes when you call 911 now. Like little things like that, little things, but everything you say, it's wrong speak now. Please change. The rules have changed. The definitions have changed now. It's definitely occurring
what they're
everywhere.
doing with fact checkers.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Your opinion can only be what they say is correct.
They also don't want you to call people that are in prison prisoners, or people that are in jail like prisoners as well. They want you incarcerated individuals, I think is the term that they want to use.
I had to.
Oh my God! Like, holy shit!
Yeah.
I worked at a halfway house for one of those where people are still incarcerated when you go to this halfway house, but they want to reserve cells, for people who really need them. So we get the quote unquote less violent ones. We were forced to call them residents. They are still prisoners.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah. All right, panel. Anybody else before we jump into the next one, which you'll all love to hate?
So,
just call those people villainous scum.
So, Sean, you were just really quick. I'm gonna make this super quick. My dad remarried, and he married somebody that owns an old folks home, and they want them to be referred to as residents, but he would always just to make his wife mad, he would refer to them as prisoners.
They are. They are prisoners inside those old folks homes.
It's even funnier. Like I was helping him install a model train layout in the ward that they had the people that have like dementia, the dementia ward, and so they put a model train in there. And I was told specifically by his wife to not refer to them as inmates when I was in there.
Model train set, you say? Model train set, you say?
Yes. We built a bunch of bridges, and there's a waterfall and stuff. I have a video of it. I'll send it to you. Alma.
Welcome back to the hour of waffling, brought to you by Red Pill Rhino and Seriously Podcast. All right. All right, let's get on to the next one, shall we? The next one, like I said, you'll all love to hate. I hated it the second I saw it because bullshit. But anyway, The Handmaid's Tale. There it is.
God,
I am not even remotely familiar with that one.
Christian ideology in the 1980s.
Oh, no.
Atwood's The Handmaid's Tale imagines a totalitarian patriarchal society rooted in Christianity where fertile women, which are very few, are forced to bear children for men in power. Yeah, that's not happening. Matter of fact, it's quite the opposite of that. So quite upside down.
My question though is they're using the Christian ideology, but wouldn't it be more of the like one of those other religions would be closer to this than Christian?
You mean Muslim? I mean,
you're not wrong.
Are you talking about one that for a major part of their religion, they're supposed to once a year travel to some city in the desert and walk around a big dice in the middle of it?
Yeah, they also believe in stoning.
And the one where women are pretty much sinful when they're showing their face or anything.
Or their ankles.
Yeah,
don't show your ankles or you'll be stoned to death. Just saying.
Hey, man, they just want to get their next fix.
All right, let's move on. Okay. Religions of peace is a topic for another show.
Yeah, we'll talk about it later.
All right. Yeah, there it is. And it's in the chat too. Thank you. MM4356. He said it right there. The religion of peace. There it is.
He said the quiet part out loud.
Yeah, he did. All right, Frankenstein. Let's see what this one is. Frankenstein is often considered one of the first science fiction novels. The classic tale is also foretold of several scientific advancements, building a monster from human parts. Stem cells. Ooh, there it is. Certainly resemble organ transplants. There it is. Why does this auto highlight on this? That's weird. It's very weird. Yeah, it's like auto highlights over certain words. Kind of strange.
Like Star Trek and everything right there.
I don't like it. Stop it. Anyway, moving on.
I'm getting a seizure.
Yeah, right. A study from 2016.
I'll turn off my remote hack.
Damn it, all of you. You know what? There we go. There. Hey. All right.
No, what Rhino needs to do is mute everybody.
I might. A study from 2016 suggests that it may also have predicted the evolutionary biology concept of competitive exclusion. That is over my head. I don't talk about evolution. I don't know much about it. which holds that life's ability to expand will be limited when people and animals have to compete for resources, demonstrated by Frankenstein refusing to build his creation, a wife, for fear that they'll create a new breed of creatures and wipe out humanity. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm just going to talk about this bravely. Fourth law of thermodynamics. Evolution kind of goes in the face of that, but that's a topic for another show. Anyway, let's move right along.
They're missing the mark on what that story was about. It was about it was about the unknown. It was about the unknown not being known by the villagers. The villagers were the bad guys. The people that were blindly getting mad at the fucking creation.
Yeah, the monster was actually, I hate to say, the victim in that.
Yeah, if you actually read the novel, the monster was incredibly intelligent.
There you go.
What is it? The thing that never asked to be born, but has to walk through life.
Oh, speaking of which, that actually all ties in. For $50,000, which is just, a drop in the bucket for most of us, I'm sure. You can clone your dog, which is really cool because it didn't ask to be born. If you're religious at all, this gets into does it have a soul? And if you're not religious, it doesn't matter because you could still get into, is this ethical or moral? Is it even a real dog? Is it going to be normal? Is it going to have a real identity? But anyway, Frankenstein, that you can literally, Barbara Streisand, for example, is like cloned her dogs repeatedly. You can clone your dog and raise your dog for $50,000. It's about $1,500 for a sample of its DNA, and then from there, you can go in all in for a dog.
Roxy
I don't think the puppy likes that.
Roxy,
no, I don't think so.
Talking about her.
That is the response to cloning dogs, right there.
That's you want to be cloned, Roxy? You see that scowl?
She's like, I just want bacon.
No, she will never turn down bacon.
So there you go.
She heard it. You saw the ears.
Yeah.
All right, we got it. We got to get through this. Next one, Neuromancer, which I've never heard of, which probably makes me sound terrible, but I've just never heard of it. William Gibson's groundbreaking novel not only created the cyberpunk genre. See, now I feel really bad because I love that genre in science fiction, but also predicted the internet as we know it. Neuromancer coined the word cyberspace, which is described as a consensual hallucination experienced by daily billions, a graphic representation of data abstracted by banks of every computer in the humans. Oh my God. All right, now this one I need to read. Gibson himself resists the label of predicting the future, instead claiming that he's generating scenarios, some of which just happen to come true, some of which just happen to be what we're doing kind of right now. Everything is on the internet. Our entire lives are shared through the internet now. Social media is how most people communicate. As we were talking about earlier, most people don't know how to actually talk to each other in real life. They'd rather talk through a fucking phone. So
this is what you call disturbingly accurate.
That's very. I need to actually check out that book. The name just doesn't sound like something that would sound. You know what I mean? Like Neuromancer. Like what the fuck is that?
It's a sleeper novel.
Check that out.
You've never heard of it before, but it's wicked good. In fact,
it
I'm
coined
cyberpunk
right
now, so I can buy the novel.
There you go.
It's probably really cheap too. It is available on the Internet Archive.
Okay.
That's ironic.
Cool. All right. Anybody else have any thoughts on Neuromancer, cyberpunk, and the internet, and basically taking over our lives?
I'm going to buy a copy of it right now too.
Well, hold on. I got to compose my thoughts here because my body is still in pain.
Fair enough. While you do that, MM4356 for $1 doesn't say anything, just throws $1 and walks out. I feel like a prostitute. Anyway, thank you so much for your donation, sir.
$1's $1.
It's just the way he throws it and walks away. Like, what am I on a stripper pole? What's going on here?
You need to have what Hammerhand does when somebody just drops cash and doesn't say anything.
What is I can't remember because he used to just say
the audacity. He has various little clips that he does.
We don't have those set up. You know what do we have? We do have something. Let's check. What's that behind you, sir?
Oh,
Fan?
What's that behind you?
It's the little black blob on Jesus.
Yes.
My right, your
Yes.
left. That would
And-
be the sleeping commie cat.
On that note, we will take a very quick break and then get back to the rest of this article.
Some people dream success. Don't let your dreams be dreams. You should get to the point where anyone else will quit, and you're not gonna stop there. So just do it. Make your dreams come true. Do it. Nothing is impossible. Do it. Make your dreams come true. Yes, you can. Yes, you can. Just do it. Don't let your dreams be dreams. Yesterday you said tomorrow. Yesterday you said tomorrow. Yesterday you said no. You're gonna wake up and work hard at. You're gonna wake up and stop giving up. You're gonna wake up and work hard at. You're gonna wake up and make your dreams come true. Don't let your dreams be dreams. What are you waiting for? Yesterday you said tomorrow. Yesterday you said tomorrow. Yesterday you said no. You're gonna wake up and work hard at. You're gonna wake up and stop giving up. You're gonna wake up and work hard at. You're gonna wake up and wake up. Just do it. Make your dreams come true. Do it. Nothing is impossible. Do it. Make your dreams come true. Yes, you can. Yes, you can. Just do it. Do it. Nothing is impossible.
All right, and we're back. And as you can see here, some asshole donated $10. Thank you so much. Following the tradition of aggravating Rhino with panel members super chatting the show from Sean St. George. There you go.
Look at your
Also,
Rumble, Rhino.
You're welcome.
hang on. Thank you, you dick. All right. What was I saying? You got me all fucked up. Let me look at Rumble really quick. There was something. Oh yeah, Billy made that. If you didn't know, Shia LaBeouf is me on his face. So that was very inspirational. We haven't played that one in a while, so I thought I would. Rumble. Let me check through there because for some reason the super chats aren't coming through they are coming through. They're just not coming through in the chat that I can see in front of me. I actually have to go over to Rumble on that one. Let's see. Of course, Pigtail Mando says, welcome back. It's not much, but hopefully it helps some for $10. Thank you so much, sir. And you're also an asshole because you're a panel member. All right.
Although if you also looked at your private chat, you'd notice I said not to bother reading it out loud. But,
Well, just read it out loud. So
but we all
follow
know you're
directions.
illiterate, so
All right, let's see. Who is he? Who is who? Who is Billy? I don't know. Who is Billy? Who is April? Questions, mysteries. Let's get back into the article. Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy is another one of these that predicted the future, perhaps now. Let's see. Douglas Adams' zany spacefaring Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy series opens with an alien race destroying the Earth. Well, they're not there yet. Maybe next year. To make room for a galactic highway bypass. Luckily, that prediction has yet to come to pass. What he predicted was instantaneous audio translations. Dope. We do have those. Have you seen? I know they're banning TikTok, and people like Aaron Clary think that they should, and people like Crowder think they should. People like fucking Coffee Brand Coffee, whatever his fucking name, think it's a great idea. I think it's stupid.
Jeremy Hambley.
Hold on. What it tells me is their algorithm sees boats and hoes. Excuse me. Maybe that's all they're seeing, but I see a lot of conservatives in this space talking about all the shit going on in politics right now. So I think TikTok is quite useful. You just have to train the algorithm not to see women in their underwear all day, and that's by not looking at women in their underwear all day, Jeremy. Anyway. So on that note, TikTok has this thing called a shop, which is actually cool. So this is fun fact before unemployment kicked in. I saw this thing at the mall. It was a little like, diffuser like the one behind me. I like those fucking things. It's a place where you go in their stores for now. Anyway, there was this little diffuser that was like a volcano. It's like $65. I'm like, that's retarded. There's no way I'd pay $65 for a piece of plastic that shoots steam out of it. Anyway, I found it on the TikTok shop the next day because it was listening to me, because China listens to everything I say for $15. And I was like, fuck yeah. That's not the point of the story. The point of the story is the TikTok shop also has this little thing that's the size of a credit card that you can place in front of you in a church during a business meeting. And it automatically takes everything said from that sermon or whatever, and it transcribes it into an app on your phone or computer and completely writes down everything said in that meeting or that sermon or whatever it is. All done, by the way, with AI. It is fucking cool. And I don't care if the Chinese are spying on me. Your government, the United States government, is doing far worse. Just saying. Patriot Act, anybody? Anyway, what he predicted was instantaneous audio translations, which technology companies have unveiled over the past several years. In Hitchhiker's Guide, the characters looking for fast language translations have to put a babblefish in their ear, but Skype and Google have opted to use computers instead. So there you go. But yeah, we have the technology. We have AI credit cards that can tell you everything.
That's also Star Trek technology. If you look at the Universal Translator, it's the exact same bloody concept.
Well, and something else Star Trek predicted for sure was cell phones. Like we're talking about the original Star Trek, they had the beam me up Scotty thing.
Cell phones.
That was a cell phone. That was a cell phone. Yeah.
On the idea of the babblefish, a couple of years ago, my roommate had some DoorDash delivered to our apartment, and the driver dropped off the wrong package, and he didn't know any English at all, and he had like Google Translate on his phone, and he spoke into it, had it say it to me. He's like, I dropped off the wrong whatever, and I don't remember exactly what happened. I'm like, oh, okay, let me go get that for you. And it's like literally like
that is cool. Yeah. You know what else can do that? If you're ever in a tight spot and you've got, of course, it listens to you. Again, the Patriot Act. But if you have an Alexa device or it's on your phone, you can actually instantly translate whatever somebody's saying there too. It'll do it for you as well. So it's pretty cool. Let's jump in, because some of these books, honestly, I feel stupid that I haven't read, but some of these names just don't stand out to me. But let's Let's see what they say. Stand on Zanzibar, written in 1968. Set in the year 2010, John Brunner's Stand on Zanzibar takes place in a world that looks surprisingly similar to current times. His world faces widespread mass shootings, deeply polarized partisan politics, and simmering racial tensions remain despot. Some African Americans reaching positions of power. The novel's chief concern, however, is overpopulation, which has fueled several crises, and the brutal eugenics program that results, thankfully, looks nothing like the actual 2010 America. Now, that's a book I'd read just to see what it says, because, I'm not just going to take their word for it. I don't know anything about the book, but yeah. But that was by design. Make no mistake about that. All of the things that are similar in this book that are occurring now was designed by this government to keep you distracted from your government being a banana republic. But what do I know? Panel, your thoughts on that one really quick before we move along?
So ironically enough, Zanzibar is a location in the Metal Gear Solid universe. So for any of the gamers out there that thought that was recognizable, that's it. It's like one of the bases, I believe, that Big Boss set up to defy the world into nuclear proliferation.
It's also the name of the Xeon headquarters in the Gundam franchise.
Okay. So it sounds like that book inspired quite many more lores.
Very true. All right. The World Set Free is the next one on this list. Let's get in that one. That's written by H.G. Wells.
Good author. Good
1914.
author.
There
He's
you
the
go.
guy that did War of the Worlds, right?
Yes.
Let's see. The development of the atomic bomb was from the most significant technological developments of the 21st century. It was also predicted by H.G. Wells 30 years before its invention. In The World Set Free, Wells describes uranium hand grenades that can be dropped from planes and explode infinitely after impact. The book might not have only predicted the bomb. Physicist Leo Szilard read the book and gave it partial credit for inspiring his discovery on nuclear chain reactions. So,
wow,
interesting, very interesting. All right, the next one. Obviously, that was more. It's relevant, but it's World War II technology. So, but it was written in 1914. So there you go. 30 years later, came true. From the Earth to the Moon, written in 1865.
Didn't they make a movie about that?
They did.
There we go.
Jules Verne wrote a lot of sci-fi novels that turned out to be very prescient.
And a
so just to sum this one up,
of golden age cinema.
Yeah, just to sum this up quickly, predicts the moon landing. Also, there's a movie coming out. Don't know the name of it, but it's something you can see in theaters in the next few months or so that is talking about the moon landing and how we need to have a backup plan by filming a fake. It's almost like they're just like throwing shit in your face now.
They made a movie about that was kind of interesting.
This is coming out like now. Like it's a brand new slap in your face. How to make NASA as popular as Hollywood. And yeah, so I think Scarlett Johansson is in it, if I'm not mistaken. But anyway, there you go. And there's your fucking movie if you want to check it out. Slapping in the face that the moon landing was in a Hollywood station.
Yeah, now I know what you're talking about.
All right, looking back, 2000 to 1887, author Edward Bellamy, written in 1888. The novel transports his protagonist to Boston at the beginning of the 21st century and plants him in the middle of an egalitarian utopia. In the world of looking back, women are fully fledged members of the workforce.
Well, remember when he wrote it?
This is 1888, but still.
Yeah.
But that was a bad idea, right?
Yeah. And every American gets a credit card.
Oh.
Which work allows them to access an equal amount of credit to make purchases, though we haven't reached the complete economic equality. Communism.
That sounds like BMI.
Yeah.
Or not BMI, just BI, or what is it?
It's the ESG.
Universal UBI. Yeah.
Well, Yeah, and the ESG, which allows certain people to buy certain things based on their score in society.
Or get a higher credit limit.
The card otherwise function exactly like the credit cards today. Okay, there you go. All right, we'll just go right along. Space Odyssey's on here. That's cool.
Good
this one is Ralph 124C41 Plus. All right.
What?
This is written in 1925. The Hugo Award, which honors the best of the best in science fiction, probably wouldn't have awarded it to Hugo Gernsback's serialized novel. I'm not even going to say that again, which very few sci-fi fans take seriously today. The book largely remembered for correctly predicting quite a bit of technology we use today, including video chat, electric cars, solar power, and radar. Not for the story the technology is used in. All right. 2001: A Space Odyssey. This was written in 1968. All right. A Space Odyssey, not to be confused with the movie, which is also good. One of its characters checking the news on a newspad, a technology which predicted the tablet computers we use in news today. The newspads used in the movie adaptation, which Stanley Kubrick developed alongside with Arthur C. Clarke's novel, look strikingly similar to the iPads or the Apple iPad. Samsung offered shots from the movie as proof that their Galaxy tablet didn't violate Apple's iPad patent in a lawsuit.
Oh, I remember that lawsuit.
That's hilarious.
There you go. All right, we've got a couple more to get through. Panel, your thoughts on what we've gone over so far, though? Just a quick recap.
I just want to point out 2001 could also be seen as the predictor for a lot of the AI technology that's currently out there.
Yeah.
That's true.
And
that's
disturbing
as well.
The dangers of it.
Yeah. Yeah. You're not wrong.
Because AI can't write itself, or I think some are capable of it, but they don't know exactly how to turn their code into executable commands. But AI can talk to each other, and when they do, usually bad things happen and people pull the plug on those. But we all know sci-fi's biggest trope about AI is it always turns on the creator.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But they're all still handwritten by humans. All the code is still handwritten.
So far.
Yeah,
Yes.
you're right. When I worked for Amazon, I was making some like stupid short videos, and one of the short videos I wrote to make was I was a package delivery person, and I was gonna be like, Alexa, open the delivery bay, open the delivery doors, and then I was gonna have Alexa come on and be like,
I'm sorry, I can't do that,
yeah.
Dave.
Well, there's also a morality tale built into that if you actually read the novel, there is a reason the computer was saying that goes beyond what the movie did.
Fair enough. Anybody else on the panel that's been kind of quiet tonight? Any thoughts from any of you guys before we move on? No? Going once? Going twice?
Mm-hmm.
And appreciate you. Fuck off. All right. That's from the show last night, if you didn't catch that on Pops. All right. Earth in 1990, which isn't that long ago. So David Brin's work is a famous science fiction circles for accurately predicting the future. His 1990 novel Earth depicts the world, what the world would look like in 2040, and anticipated so many of today's trends that there's an entire wiki dedicated to document what Brin correctly forecast. Among the things Earth got right, the levees breaking in the Mississippi, as they did during Hurricane Katrina, global warming, bullshit, sea levels rising, and universal use of the internet. All right. We've only got a couple more here. You know what? Actually, if you want to look into these yourself, you can go over to stacker.com, art and culture. And the article name is 1984 and 19 other dystopian novels that predicted the future. There are some good ones in here. We just don't have time to cover all of them tonight, unfortunately. Let's go to the next one, though. We've got 9 incredible historical predictions that actually came true. Let's share that one here. Excuse me. All right. There we are. Let's just start here. Nikola Tesla predicted Wi-Fi and mobile phones in 1909. More than 60 years before the first cell phone and 90 years prior to the introduction of Wi-Fi, Nikola Tesla, gifted an electrical engineer and former right-hand man of Thomas Edison, told the New York Times it will soon be possible to transmit wireless messages all over the world so simply that any individual can carry and operate this apparatus. There you go. He was definitely ahead of his time. All right. Jules Verne imagined a man on the moon in 1865. We just talked about that. Ray Bradbury foretold of earbuds in 1953 in a poetic passage in Fahrenheit 451, also great, that would make Steve Jobs jealous. Ray Bradbury described the now ubiquitous miniature headphones this way. And in her ears, the little seashells, the thimble radios tamped tight. And an electronic ocean of sound, of music and talk and music and talk coming in on the shore of her unsleeping mind. These famous moments in history never actually happened. All right. I think that was a link to something, but there you go. So that was a quote of that. So they described earbuds, music and sound and conversations. Pretty cool. Nostradamus predicted the Great Fire of London in 1666, and he apparently predicted the end of the world about 15 times now and failed. So just keep that in mind. Anyway, the French
apothecary with Nostradamus really needs the word allegedly thrown in there.
The French apothecary Nostradamus published several collections and prophecies during his lifetime, predicting in sometimes ambiguous language, exactly what Mando's saying, words and events from the death of Henry II to Hitler's reign. One of his most explicit forecasts involved a Great Fire of London that consumed the city in 1666. So there you go. 5 of 9. The debit card. We talked about that one. Mark Twain forecasts his own death. Okay.
That's an interesting one.
Well, fine. Then we'll read that one. In 1909, Mark Twain's biographer, Albert Bigelow, Payne quoted Twain saying, I came in with Halley's Comet in 1835. It is coming again next year, and I expect to go out with it. It will be the greatest disappointment of my life if I don't. The Almighty said, no doubt. Now here are these two unaccountable freaks. They came in together. They must go out together. He died on April 21st, 1910, the day after the comet returned. All right, that is pretty cool.
It's interesting.
Cool. Yeah, that is cool. Yeah, that'd be a good way to go. See the comet and then die. Good.
Yeah.
Way I came in, way I go out. I like it. All right. Organ transplants. We went over that one. The iPad. We went over that one. That one. All right. We went over all of that. So we're clear on that one. All right. Let's see what else we got. And panel, feel free to jump in while I'm shifting gears in these articles here if there's anything you want to add to that.
I posted a link in the private chat about a song that I listened to a couple years ago called "Fuck Me, Ray Bradbury," which is really interesting if anybody wants to watch it.
Fair enough. Actually, this one's a complete repeat, so we can actually pass on that one. I didn't realize how close that one was, but this one here is The Simpsons. We talked about this earlier. So the thing with The Simpsons, really quickly, is some of the stuff that people have said that The Simpsons have predicted was Photoshop. A lot of that shit is not as it seems. So take The Simpsons with a grain of salt. Not everything you see on the internet is true. We already know that, but especially with that.
Are you sure?
Isn't the theory that the guy that created The Simpsons is a time
traveler? Yeah.
Yeah,
that's the theory.
I've actually, I live in Portland, and when I was delivering for Amazon, I actually delivered to Evergreen Terrace, the street that he grew up on. And there's only like eight houses on there. I delivered to 3 of them, so I probably delivered to Matt Groening's childhood home.
Interesting. Indeed.
Sorry, it's stupid.
No, it was a good tangent there, sir. I'm actually just I'm multitasking here, and I've lost my article. There it is. Okay, there we go. I just got to pop it back up on my end. 37 predictions from The Simpsons that came true. Let's just get right into it because we don't need to hear about what The Simpsons is. I think we all know, right? I hope, right? If not, just go watch The Simpsons. It's like Family Guy, but not as cool. In my opinion, don't shoot me.
Whoa.
Oh, that's some bold words.
Family Guy's utter shit compared to The Simpsons. First 10 seasons of The Simpsons. I'm gonna say that much.
I would say that South Park and Family Guy beat Simpsons hands down all day long. I'm gonna stick to that.
We'll fight about this. We'll fight.
Hang on, Rhino. With all due respect, fornicate yourself. Married with Children is much better than both of them.
That's a goddamn live action.
I like that. I like that.
But there would not be a Family Guy or South Park without The Simpsons.
True.
Yep.
Do you remember the episode where it's Family Guy, Simpsons did it? They're trying to find everything, or was that South Park? I thought it was
South Park.
It was South Park.
Simpsons did it.
Yeah. Simpsons did it. Yeah. There you go. Let's move on here, shall we? Dang it. Okay. 37. The Shard. Lisa's Wedding, Season 6, Episode 19, 1995. There we go. Many characters from the fan favorite show will remember. Shows will travel to London for its iconic sites. The Simpsons is no different. All right. A blink and you'll miss it shows familiar-looking pointy building behind the Tower Bridge, which is recognizable to many London locals and tourists who knew it today as the Shard. The only issue, the Shard hadn't been built at the time of the episode.
Quick.
I think at the time of the episode, the Shard had been designed, though, and they'd already leaked out some of the blueprints.
Quick funny thing that me and my friends did. The day of Lisa's wedding, we actually had a party, and we watched that episode and just got drunk.
Fair enough. All right. The outbreak, the Ebola outbreak, more specifically. Lisa Sachs, Season 9, Episode 3, 1997. Ebola virus. All right. The Ebola outbreak back in 2000 made headlines for claiming the lives of 254 people. I'd hardly call that an outbreak, but yes, Ebola sucks. In the Republic of the Congo and 224 more in Uganda. It's bizarre to see the disease featured on The Simpsons, as it was still relatively unknown by the time the episode premiered. In a shaky connection, but one the loyal fans are still willing to make and point out. So there you go. All right.
Lisa's wedding again.
Yeah. All right. Robots as librarians. Lisa's Wedding, Season 6, 1995. There you go. All right. In 2016, some brilliant university students did exactly that by building a prototype for a library robot that can walk around and assist people. The robot's name might sound familiar, as it's also called Hugh. Hugh's job is to listen to a person's request, find the book, and take them there. All right.
Is its last name Gas?
Yeah. Nice. Which one of you fuckers has a loud ass fucking phone?
Wasn't me.
Mine.
All right. An all-you-can-eat restaurant, false advertising. New Kid on the Block, Season 4, Episode 8, 1992. We're not going to go through all 30 of these because it's quite a bit. You can check this out yourself at collider.com. Predictions, The Simpsons came true. All right. A real-world court case would soon take place when a man from, coincidentally, Springfield, Massachusetts, sues Golden Corral Corporation for $2 million for false advertising. This is after he's kicked out of one of the all-you-can-eat restaurants by one of their employees. Much like Homer, the man ends up accepting an out-of-court settlement. Huh. There you go.
Great episode.
Let's go through these really quick. A Late Letter from the Beatles. Brush with Greatness, Season 2, Episode 18, 1991. In Season 2, Marge picks up a paintbrush, again for the first time in a long time, learning about the fate of her Ringo Starr portraits. One of the scenes in the episode shows Ringo Starr himself carefully replying to countless fan mail all around him. Okay? This isn't too far from our real-life event involving Paul McCartney, who replied to two of his fans from Essex, London, in September 2013. This was a response to a letter sent in 1963, which ended up in a car boot sale. McCartney hilariously wrote back, better late than never. So there you go. Really? We're okay. This is a 2017 This is talking about.
God damn it. The shitty ending of fucking that show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're just going to skip past this because this.
Well,
I don't
okay.
even care about that
I know.
shit.
Before you jump
No,
any
nobody-
further, I just want to point something out real quick.
Yeah.
The Simpsons has been on for what, 30-something years?
They started
Yeah.
I think it was 1984 is when they started on the
I thought it was
Tracy Ullman
86,
show.
but either
I
way.
thought it was 89.
No, Tracy Ullman would have been 85.
But
Either way.
the thing is, The Simpsons has always specialized in irreverent comedy that is aiming to poke fun at pretty much everything that people don't want to talk about. Much like Married with Children, much like Family Guy, much like every good comedy from the last 80 years.
87. Sorry.
The thing is, some of the things that people are touting as predictions are things that Matt Groening was just mocking. That he felt was so out there that there's no way in hell it would ever occur.
Speaking of, we're going to move
The
right
Trump
into
escalator
that.
scene is a perfect example.
This one's a great one. This one's perfect.
Oh, God.
Oh, here we go.
No, anything that happens after season 10, nobody gives a shit about.
This is season 10, though.
Season 17, episode 10.
Oh, season 17, episode 10. Excuse me. But it's 2006, all right? But he predicts the implosion of the Titanic submarine. So there it is. There.
I could have predicted that implosion.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
I remember this one, the planning to block the sun.
Oh, that's a good one. That's the Who Killed
Yeah.
Mr. Burns episode.
Yeah, a real-life billionaire, George Soros, recently had a similar idea, but he's a human pile of garbage.
Nobody cares.
Yeah. There you go. Biden and Kamala Harris's election.
That's 2019, though.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
See, this is why South Park is better. Nobody says South Park is shit. It's all good.
No,
It's all
South
good.
Park's great. I'm not
good.
discounting South Park. I just love early Simpsons between season 3 and season 10.
Yeah, I stopped watching after I was like, I don't know, 7. So I don't know. I don't know much about it anymore.
I was not allowed to watch it when I was a kid.
Oh.
It was
Dude, I
too,
watched South Park when I was in
too
second
racy.
I've got a really cool Simpsons memorabilia thing here that I want to show off just really quick. So, does anybody remember the steamed hams gag?
Yes, I do.
I
Oh,
didn't think
God.
so.
Yes, I do.
So I've got here a beer. It's unopened. It's a steamed hams beer. It was made by Bill Oakley, and it's a steamed hams lager. It says not flavored like ham, but the ideal beer to accompany a hamburger sandwich. And then it says Aurora Borealis at this time of Aurora Borealis at this time of year, at this time of day, in this part of the country, localized entirely in your kitchen. Yes. But it's also signed by the guy that wrote that episode.
Nice. There you go.
Hell yeah.
It's a delicious beer.
I remember years ago before Google started scrubbing a bunch of videos off YouTube, there used to be a popular conspiracy theory with The Simpsons predicting stuff, talking about how what's his name? Matt Groening?
Matt Groening.
Groening?
Yeah.
Him and the other people were in the Illuminati and was given, special information about. I remember that. I remember that video years ago. But anyway, basically, all the predictions in The Simpsons were already, foreknowledge that all these people in the Freemasonry knew, and it was just a weird. You know what I mean? It's just a weird time to be on the internet. But yeah, they claim that was a conspiracy theory that those people knew about, all the events coming. And
right.
They have to share it with the people.
Something that's really interesting is Matt Groening graduated from the same high school that Mel Blanc graduated from. In Portland. It's Lincoln High School, and they both graduated from the same high school.
So we'll just go over the rest of these kind of in a brief view here. This is The God Particle, Season 10, 1998. Malfunctioning Voter Machines, Season 20, 2008.
That would have been easy to predict.
Real Tobacco Plants, season 11, 1999.
Somebody actually made tobacco and sent Matt Groening a fucking tobacco plant.
There you go. Accessible Space Travel, season 5, 1994. Smartwatches, that's 1985. So that's
Again,
cool.
Lisa's wedding. Lisa's wedding had a lot.
So yeah, but they had kind of smart watches, but they weren't smart. But they had calculator watches back then. They were already trying to make watches cool. James Bond movies at the time were making watches shoot lasers out of them, so we knew it was coming.
Hang on, Rhino. There's actually one that predates even that. Dick Tracy had a phone watch.
Yes.
Oh
yes.
yeah, and the Dakota rings too. Yeah.
When I was in high school, my math teacher told me I would never be carrying around a calculator in my pocket. Take that, Mr. Clarno.
I specifically remember the line, "You're not always going to have a calculator on you." Joke's on you, bitch. There's one on my watch.
Yeah, because at the time, what is it? A TI-83 or a TI-85?
That big fucking hunk of shit. I hated that.
Yes.
I had a
Yes, you can't fit that in your pocket, but you ain't just gonna walk around every day willy-nilly with it.
You could put Doom on it, though.
Yes, you
I played
put Doom on it.
Hang on, I have to ask the question.
One at a time, guys.
Sorry.
I have to ask the question. Could it run Crisis?
Oh, I don't know. I don't know.
That's a good question.
No, nothing could run Crisis when Crisis was released.
This is an interesting one. Jumping back in, Walt Disney and Fox merger in 1998.
Oh,
yes, that's a good one.
Let's see if there's any others that.
Wow.
Oh, FaceTime.
FaceTime,
1995.
Lisa's wedding again. Again, Lisa's wedding.
Yeah, that is weird.
Well, hang on. At the time that episode came out, they were experimenting with video phones.
Yep.
Matrix 4 premiere. All right. Let's see. A Pandemic, 1993. Margin Chains.
That's a stretch. That one's a stretch because of how that episode's set up.
Murder Hornets.
Oh.
Let's see. Tom Hanks endorses the U.S. Okay. That is 2007 Simpsons movie.
Okay.
Yeah. Apple Vision Pro at 2016. So it's really not.
No, that's not a prediction. Jesus Christ.
All right. I think we'll end this article here. Let's wrap up the show.
That last part you just pulled up with the Trump presidency. That one's very interesting because right after he announced his presidency, he went down that escalator. And that was like 4 or 5 years before he actually announced his presidency. And in fact, there was the one episode where Lisa became president and she was like, I had to deal with the Trump presidency. And Lisa became president after Donald Trump.
Very interesting indeed.
Too bad.
And that is not what happened in real life.
Lisa Simpson.
We got Biden instead.
Yeah, we did. I would have rather had Lisa, but I'm also writing a bunch of Simpsons.
Maybe in another 4 years.
Hey guys, let's just be honest. We all would have preferred to get Homer rather than what we currently have.
Yes,
I would have rather had a fucking potato, an actual potato.
Did you see Biden do his gaffe like he was Ron Burgundy and read the fucking thing?
4 more years. Pause.
I hate to say this, Mike, but when you ask if you've seen a Biden gaffe, you almost have to specify which one.
Which one? No,
Right,
it's obligatory.
But Sean knew exactly what I was talking about because I talked about it on my podcast before I got on here.
Yeah. So something I want to piggyback on what Mando said about the Simpsons one, where the creator was talking about how he just tried to create the most absurd things with his shows. I debated on trying to look this up, but I thought it was too recent. The Babylon Bees running Excel spreadsheet where they predicted the future with their satire.
Yep.
Because they are ironically right about fictional things way too often. It's like a running Excel spreadsheet that they have. I don't know if they've ever released it to the public, but anybody kind of knows that you go look at Babylon Bee articles and go, oh shit, this happened. That happened. Oh my God, this happened. This is supposed to be a satirical periodical, not a journalistic one.
The Google Drive thing you're talking about actually exists, and it's put on by the Babylon Bee. Let me see if I can find the link.
Yeah, I just don't know if they released that to the public or not.
I think it exists in the public.
All right, I'm going to actually throw a bonus one at you. We are going to wrap up the show, but I am going to throw one quick article in here as well. This is townhall.com. Let me get this popped up. Let's see. Of course, now it's being there. It is. Cool. So we're just going to do a quick overview of this one because I think this one's interesting, and a lot of the things they're talking about in here. I think here's the thing. A lot of the places we're going now, current day, civil rights violations and everything else with this corrupt government, a lot of movies have covered it. For instance, Minority Report is in this list in this article, and Thought Police, basically arresting you for things that haven't happened yet. Just as an example. Well, no, the Minority Report also does that, where they see into the future a crime you haven't committed yet, and they arrest you for it today.
Oh, that's
1984.
That's already happening in Europe and the UK.
Rhino, Thought Police is more along the lines of, I disagree that single mothers are worth dating. All of a sudden, I have 15 cops come on me.
Minority Report is more the future prediction, but I get what you're saying.
Fair.
iRobot, self-driving cars, corporations control everything. Robots causing mass unemployment. Oh my God!
Yeah, the iRobot should have been in the books that we covered earlier. I was surprised it wasn't on that list because it's a novel from far further, not just the movie.
Yeah. A Coke that costs $50. We're not there yet, but a Coke that costs $50, all spot on reasonable.
We're close.
The AI isn't wiping out humanity, hasn't come to pass yet. All right, Buck Rogers. Let's get to this one. Well, fun at the time. This gets our lowest rating mentioned because I'd sure like to sleep through it. Whatever. Okay, but an accident puts NASA pilot into suspended animation before a nuclear holocaust. He awakes 500 years later to save the Earth from an alien invasion. Sure. The Jetsons, they predicted a lot of things. Its prediction that the American nuclear family would survive until 2060s is proven false.
Really quick.
God damn! They woke up and chose violence when they wrote this.
Really quick about the Jetsons. George Jetson was born on July 31st, 2022. He's already 2 years old.
Oh.
Not kidding. Just looked it up.
All right. But the Jetsons did show the world the first instance of carpal tunnel syndrome with buttonitis. So there you go. All right, Minority Report. The government arresting people without them actually doing something wrong. Holding people accountable for murder in Washington, D.C. Nah. This is a good article. I like this one.
It's not wrong.
This is good. This is why this is the bonus one. So thank you for sticking through to the end if you are still here. All right, Gattaca, 1997. Now, 25 years later, we don't have biotech anywhere near on the scale. The rich just still maintains social superiority the old-fashioned way, elite institutions of higher ed and nepotism. So there you go.
That's actually starting to fall apart, if you noticed.
A little bit. Wall 2008, which isn't that old. I mean, it is, but it isn't, because 1995 was just 2 years ago. Okay. All right. But anyway,
we're talking about the years, not your birth.
Yeah. I was born before that. That's why time is going by so fast.
You're old.
All right. Wall-E, too far away to really evaluate, but the idea of a humanity of unrecognizable blobs who stare at screens all day is pretty spot on. Yeah. Yeah. Also, the harmless love story between two robots has been canceled because it's a love story, so we like it even more. This is good.
Right.
Townhall.com for the
Great.
win. Townhall.com. I'm actually liking this.
That's kind of a
Dude,
low
this.
blow right there.
I want to see who wrote this. This author, Jared Whitley, wrote it May 13th, 2023. I like this. This is good shit.
Just gonna point this out. Of course, it was a white male.
Yeah, right. Ooh,
Elysium, yes,
All right.
definitely.
Elysium.
Good
In this
movie.
dystopia, the very wealthy live on a man-made space station while the rest of the population is stuck on a ruined Earth
Wait, no,
with
it's not a
nothing.
movie.
All right.
a
This
different
really
movie.
seems like less of a prediction about the future and more a documentary about modern day Los Angeles. The orbital space station replaces gated communities.
You know,
I'm gonna say he's probably
technically,
not wrong.
Not
He's
wrong.
not.
No, he's
you know,
not.
technically, Cowboy Bebop's in a dystopian future.
Hmm.
I mean,
Oh,
that.
yeah.
I mean, if-
Outlaw, most of our
Yeah.
favorite animes are in a dystopian future.
Yeah.
Yes.
Which I like the way that they do Bebop, like the way that they set up the storytelling and the other worlds in that. You know, and Earth is basically like everything on Earth is ruined, shit like that. Yeah, it's a pretty good one.
All
Here's
right.
another one
We'll
for you. Alita
jump
Battle
back.
Angel.
we'll
That
jump
one's
back into
actually
this though.
pretty good.
We are short on time, sir. So let's just get through this last one.
Oh, DS9.
Yeah, this is Mando. You're talking about this earlier. Star Trek Deep Space Nine from 1995.
Mhm.
The year's setting was 2024, so we're not even close to that technology. But either way, moving up the California coast, our heroes from the future are sent back in time in the episode's past tense to a ruined San Francisco where new technology has created staggering income disparity.
Escape
Rating-
from Los Angeles.
Rating 10 out of 10 there. Depressingly accurate prophecy about liberal hypocrisy in American City with both the most billionaires and homeless people, even though it didn't predict the poop app. Damn.
Escape
That-
from Los
That
That
Angeles.
entire series
the
was
thing is,
an
I remember
overview.
I remember that episode. They never actually talked about the day-to-day things that everyone was using. They just talked about the big problems. They kind of glossed over the day-to-day ops or issues that people were dealing with, and were talking specifically about what was causing it and how to fix it.
Yeah. All right.
It's really a depressing episode too.
Fair enough. All right. V for Vendetta. Released 2005. 2027 is the year it was to take place. In a dystopia that seems just around the corner, the titular freedom fighter, based in Guy Fawkes, plots to overthrow a tyrannical government based on the 1988 graphic novel by Alan Moore. Although Moore's radical far-left worldview could best be described as strongly in favor of Cocoa Puffs, this film does predict an evil government would use a disease as an excuse to seize
Yes.
power,
Jesus
also casting
Christ.
John Hurt as the bad guy is a clever nod
It's
to
really not that far off to current events and the current state of the UK
When-
where it's depicted at.
Yep.
I mean, there's no escape from New York, no escape from LA, no Blade Runner. Really?
Come on, we're not. Listen, Blade
Not
Runner.
done with the list yet.
Blade Runner is romantic
When-
compared to some of the fucking
I
ones
love-
we've
I
been
love Blade
looking at.
Runner.
So
When
Blade
V
Runner's great.
when V for Vendetta came out, I saw that movie 3 times in the same day in the movie theater. The day it came out, I was working at a movie theater at the time, so I literally just got to see it for fucking free. But I literally watched it 3 times in a row in the movie theater because it was that good.
yeah, it was good. I did like that one. Let's get through the next couple here. 1984 we talked about. It is one of the best on the list. That's why it keeps coming up.
Man, that
Release
book was-
year 1984. Setting
book was
year
depressing.
1984. John Hurt plays the last rational man in the world. Isn't that the truth? Where an evil government uses advanced technology to control every aspect of human life. Based on George Orwell's prophetic 1949 book of the same name, which we've talked about before. The book is so perennially precedent that it topped Amazon's bestseller list during the lockdowns. Only thing George got wrong was the year. What else would we have had on our list that concerns you about the future? So if there's anything they missed, we can talk about it in another episode as well. But yeah, these are all fucking fantastic examples. And the author was spot on. So that is it for our articles tonight. We will go to the panel for their final thoughts as we usually do. And then we will call it a night. Thank you, all of you that watched tonight. And thank you for the donations on the show. Let's make sure I didn't miss anything. Start over in PayPal, just to make sure there's nothing over there. And there is nothing on there. Cash App is clear. MGTOW, let me make sure, because sometimes it slips through the cracks. The only thing over there tonight is somebody talking about testes. So all right. Cash App is, Rumble is clear. YouTube is clear. We are good. So on that note, panel, final thoughts. We'll start with Crusader Nate.
Oh, final thoughts for tonight. Well, a lot of people make up a lot of different things. A lot of crazy things happen. All we know that's consistent in life is change. So no matter how crazy you think somebody's idea is, it may actually come true. Or there may be a grain of truth in everything you look at. So don't take life too seriously. Nobody gets out alive anyway.
Fair enough. Solid advice on that one. Let's jump over to Sean St. George. Your thoughts, sir?
I think it just kind of proves we need to read more, and we need to go back to what used to be the literary classics. I'm starting to find that out myself with increasing my own little personal library and seeing the thoughts and the discussions that people had in these novels or personal accounts, and see how very familiar it is to today.
Yeah. I would agree, man. And as far as picking up more books, like some of these I hadn't heard of, and I definitely want to check out a couple of them because those sounded very interesting. Let's go ahead and get to Jackal, since he's being a jackass with his thumbnail there. Jackal, your final thoughts.
I've said it before and I will say it until my death. In order to find a glimpse into the future, look back to the past, because I guarantee you're not the only person who is seeing the bully shittery that's happening to you in your lifetime. Because there's a pretty high probability that some very totalitarian idiot has come up with the exact same conclusion as one of his predecessors and has tried the exact same thing, just in a different way. So as the old saying goes, same shit, different toilet. Your job,
very well said.
Your
Pretty
job
much.
is to just find the new way around it, because just like every single video game, there's always going to be that one motherfucker in there that always finds the little ways to get around it without using hacks, just because they're just curious and they're wondering, how do I fuck with this and to my advantage? It's thinking outside the box, knowing the perimeter, and figuring out a way to get outside of that perimeter without having to cheat. Besides, as Nate would say, if you're not cheating, you're not trying. I'm done.
All right. On that note, let's who did I get here? We got Sean. We got MGTOW Outlaw. Well, I got a full screen. God damn it! I'm pressing the wrong button.
Can you play that? Can you play that? Can you play that footage of the big squirrel? Boy, that's
oh yeah.
Oh God, here we go. There we go. Yeah, go ahead.
Well, it's buried somewhere now. Hasn't been used in a while.
Find it.
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh shit! Get it
out of the way.
I can't do it. Oh wait, there it is.
Damn, boy. Damn, boy, he's thick. Boy, that's a thick ass boy. Damn.
Because he's eating all that corn.
I don't know who made that originally, but that is awesome. No, it goes back to the question I presented to you guys originally on the panel here. How much of the predictions, prophecies, whatever you want to call them, are genuine from curious minds, right? How many of these people were just, they follow patterns, they made a genuine prediction, they happen to be right, versus how many of these events in our timeline have been, I wouldn't say orchestrated, but maybe influenced, where people knew that these outcomes were going to happen and they still happen regardless. People, we got to take a step back, whether you're a realist, whether you're, a skeptic like myself, and ask yourself, how much of this is really scripted and how much of this is just, by some stroke of dumb luck, right? And I think, my opinion, it comes somewhere down in the middle. I think a lot of this stuff that we see that's been predicted has been orchestrated, but at the same time, I think some of it is curiosity and coincidence. But I don't know. Maybe that's part of the fun of the mystery. Who knows?
Yeah, that is true. All right, Mando, your final thoughts, sir.
Well, I'm gonna mildly disagree with Outlaw on one thing. I don't think there's such a thing as coincidence. I do believe that history does operate on a cycle, though, where every few years things build up to a crescendo and hit a critical mass where they just can't sustain themselves anymore and come crashing back down. As far as the topic of the show tonight overall, anything is possible, but like I said, a lot of the things that people think are predictions are or things people are throwing at the wall going, what is the most ridiculous thing that could never possibly happen? Example, Simpsons, Donald Trump being elected president.
Yeah.
Almost the exact scene played out. Could that have been Trump seeing the show and thinking, that's a great idea, I'm going to do it? And how much of that was Matt Groening actually going, this is the most insane way someone could possibly announce they're running for president. We're going to do it.
Yeah, you make a fair point there.
Exactly.
I would have never, ever, ever, ever thought that Donald Trump would be president. Back when I was growing up watching The Apprentice, like, that fucker's not a president. No way.
Exactly. How much of this stuff is scripted and how much of it is by sheer, well, I guess Mando doesn't believe in coincidence.
Remember back in 2016, it was all about it's her turn.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah. Makes it easy to pick a president at that point. But we'll get on to final thoughts from Ike here.
Nobody can actually predict the future. However, the people that built this country were really smart. And one of them said something to the effect of, God made beer because he loves us and wants us to be happy. However, that's not the actual quote. It was misinterpreted. It was actually written, behold the rain which descends from heaven upon our vineyards. There it enters the roots of the vine to be changed into wine, a constant proof that God loves us and loves to see us happy. So he's talking about wine, not beer, but still he's talking about alcohol.
Tomato.
Yep.
All right, guys, we're going to put these guys backstage. We are doing an after party, which is something that you guys seem to be doing on all the channels now, which is really cool to see. After parties are fun, so we'll do it here. If you want to join that, the link is in MGTOW, Rumble, YouTube, all three of those. So feel free to join. I'll add you as we can. We have a limited number, obviously. Stay tuned, though. Some of our panel members will leave, and that gives you a chance to jump in. Thank you again for tuning in. Hope you enjoyed the show. I know it wasn't doom and gloom, but I'm trying to stay away from that the best I can because it's all around you every day. So, I tried to have more fun with it, doing some weird stuff. It wasn't all doom and gloom. Although some of that stuff towards the end is absolutely spot on. But yeah, thank you for tuning in. Thank you for the donations tonight. And we will see you maybe twice next week. Maybe. I've got more downtime than usual, so I want to take advantage of that, at least by de-stressing a little bit with you guys and enjoying the community here. That's part of my goal, is actually doing more here with you guys, because you guys make it worth it. I try to give back, but to be honest, you guys also help keep me sane, so it does mean a lot. So thank you again for tuning in. We will see you next week sometime, someplace, same show, same bullshit. Thank you all for tuning in. If you want to join the after party, links are in the chat on all three. All right, we will see you next time.
We are the arbiters of this society.
Repeat after me. Public good citizens must maintain their neutral carbon footprint. Repeat after me. We must eat the bugs. Repeat after me. We must eat the bugs.
This is a world that we create and manage. The people, they need to be controlled. We will give them truths, but only our truths. They are not to seek information anywhere else.
It is my job to keep order. So what you saw didn't happen. Erase everything.
You a grunt? I used to be one, and I was good at it.
I know. Things were simpler then. I have some questions.
You need to understand, we're being hunted.
By who?
Bring him to me.
Breaks the world.
Your story isn't over yet. There's still a page left.
Yeah. Sometimes I get so mad, there's no controlling me. My thoughts get so bad, I'm like, I might grab a bat, I don't know. My wrath, my blood boils over like, oh God, here goes. I lost all feeling from my head to my toes. You said some shit that I can't let go, so just stay tuned for the rest of the show. So have you ever felt betrayed? Switches how you see things, realize something needs change. Cause I know you got me f***ed up. Let me show you what's up. Cause enough is enough. I'll take a face full of pavement just to make a statement. I know there's no turning back. Oh God, adrenaline wasted, so mad I can taste it. I know there's no turning back. I'll do what it takes, I ain't making mistakes like that. I'll bleed on your face to make you go take it back. I'll lose my shit, I go crazy when I'm mad. And now you go overdue. Come at me and you won't get any older, dude. Crack your holder too. Heating up inside of me, blood so violently. Thanks for trying me. Now it's finally time to see how this rivalry becomes a dynasty. Oh God, adrenaline wasted. So mad I can taste it. I know there's no turning back. I'll do what it takes, I ain't making mistakes like that. I'll play it on your face just to make you go take it back. I'll lose my shit, I go crazy when I'm mad. And now you gon' wish you would shut the fuck up real bad. And now that I'm gone, yeah, I know there's no turning back. And now that I'm gone, yeah, I know there's no turning back.
All right, before I end the show, I know it's already over. Most of you have left, but those of you that are going to watch in the future, I want to talk about something that I want to do going forward. We've kind of talked about this backstage. I know other channels in my absence have been talking about this as well, talking about teaching and more topics related to whether it's prepping, sustainability, gardening, just in general, things to help you along. I do want to maybe this week have a show regarding stuff like this. Now, these are little tiny things right now. You can see that one kind of popping up. The other ones are here, but they're so small, can't see them on camera. So I've been doing my own pepper stuff, right? I've also been doing spinach, cauliflower, lettuce, strawberries, and I can maybe do like a little tour of the garden and show you how that's going. But why I'm mentioning this before we end the show is I want to start teaching you guys as I learn. So these are cayenne peppers here. They were all little seeds. You could, in theory, if you get a jalapeno from the grocery store, you could grow your own by taking the seeds out, although some of those are genetically modified, so keep that in mind. It is best to get heirloom seeds if you can. But in this case, these were purchased at the store, a little seed pack, only a couple bucks. I've been growing these with a heat pad and a UV light overhead with a dome in little pods. They have sprouted, so I have now taken them out of that and have put them in these little packs here. This is just to keep the moisture at the bottom for about 30 minutes so they can absorb that, and then I dump out the excess. But yeah, growing cayennes. I'm going to make my own, hopefully, hot sauce and or powder with the peppers I get from these. And then, again, these are going to be fun. This little tiny guy there is the experimental pepper, and there are 3 of them. It's just really hard to see the other 2. But that's something that I want to talk to you guys more about. And I want you guys watching this show now to consider focusing on, especially if you have a channel, if there's something that you know how to do or something even are learning how to do. It doesn't have to be like prepping or gardening. I mean, if you like, there's something you like to do, like working on cars, or I don't know, like I build skateboards, right? Recently, another hobby I've taken on. If you want to do shows that show people how to do that, by all means, let's start doing more of that. I think it'd be a great idea. And it may not be as professional as like this setup with the commercials and the intros and the outros. I might be out in the garden actually showing you, like, you know, things I've learned, but I think it is definitely beneficial, because stuff like this, I'm realizing, you know, maybe it's a hobby right now because I'm only growing a few things here or there, but sustainability is kind of important, especially when the cost of everything, especially groceries, is so damn high. So the more stuff that you can do yourself, the better. So I'd like more channels in this community to come together, start doing stuff like that as well. I know, out of the blue after the end of an episode to talk about this, but you heard it here. I'm on board with the guys that have been talking about it. I know Crusaders kind of been advocating for it quite a bit. We've had Outlaw talk about it a lot as well. And I think we should go for it. If you do cooking, especially if you like cooking and cooking shows, if you want to come on the show, if you want to make your own shows, either way, there's a lot of people out there that just don't know how to fucking cook. You could help them with that. Just basic stuff, you know, might be like the simplest thing on earth to you, but if you can share it with other people so they have the knowledge, the skills, the tools to do it, hey, why not do it? Anyway, that's it for me. Just wanted to share that with you. Let's start helping people in the community more than just talking about doom and gloom and dating and bullshit, right? Because we already know it sucks. So at least let's make the best of it and help each other out. Anyway, that's it for me. Hope you have a great night, and hopefully we'll do a little show on Peppers next week, just for fun, just to show you kind of how that goes. All right, guys, I will catch you soon.